Today I wanted to play with some squares. I had a few ideas that I wanted to test out and see how they work. Pulled out 7 sheets of 6x6 paper that probably came from the same paper pack because they do kind of work well together. I knew I could mix and match them. Then I pulled out my die cuts and I paired them up. These are the squares that I cut out. Now I need to play with my squares to see what can I do with these squares. I started playing with them. Nothing is glued down. Wasn't totally happy with it. Let's try something else. Alright, so I have a piece of scrap paper here that I have cut it to be the size that I would put on the face of a card, leaving a white border around. Alright, in the middle, I want to have a square. I think I'm going to go with this size square. But I'm going to do it... I'm just going to trace this square. Okay. Now, I'm going to go off to the right. Off to the right. I'll just rotate around. And then I should have my pieces all going the proper direction. So I have 4 pieces. All right. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, yeah, this one has to go. That one's not separated. Okay, so I have 4 pieces. I made myself a pattern. Okay, so I have these leftover pieces. And I want to cut, let's see. So I have my pieces. 1 is up top, 2 is down here, 3 is this way. No, 2 is up top, and then 3, and then 4. Okay. So I have them, wait a second, that's not right. I'm getting myself so confused. Did I not choose the right one? Didn't I number it? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'm getting myself confused. Let's put this back together again. All right, so 3 is here, 2, I did cut the wrong size. Okay, fine, then I will cut out the yellow. It's confusing. I wanted this and that to be this print. Instead I got this and that. So now what do I do? That is not what I wanted. Is there any way I can swap these two? They're similar in shape. I still have the same problem. There's no other choice. I'm mad at myself. I could still get one out of here. Alright, let's skip this because I messed it up. I still have 1 paper left. I will cut 2 and 3 out of that. Well, at least you'll know how confusing it can get. To help my pattern, I need to write A, color A, color A, color B, color B. And that's the center. And that way, the next time I do this, I won't mess it up. Okay. We'll do it with the yellow. That'll work. So now I have my colors. Okay, here's my card. Now it's time to put those on. Use my silicone mat. I try to do all my gluing on it so I keep my working place clean. I know I have a little edge around the outside, and they do match up right there. That's what I wanted. A square in the middle, and I wanted these colors to be opposite each other. Now, it could be decorated, and I am going to pull out some strips of paper to help decorate it. I think I need to find some pink. I cut 1/4-inch strips from a scrap piece of pink paper that I found in my scrap bin to trim around the seams following the spiral pattern. The yellow print needed some help because it looked so plain. So I cut out this white lace trim, and now I'm fitting it for the corners. That was just the touch it needed to dress up the card. Here is a design. The ribbon, I guess it looks like a ribbon, runs through it so that it holds it all together. The yellow is kind of on the bottom, and then this on top of the yellow, and this is on top of that. So it goes over, under the yellow, over the center, under the yellow, and over. So when you put this down, it kind of holds it all together. I tried to space them about evenly apart, and that was okay. But if you know me, I like to experiment. So I played around, and I came up with that sort of arrangement. And then I did this using 2 large squares and 2 small squares. That one just has 1 large and 2 small. On that line, I put 2 large squares together, and I actually joined them so they look like they're hugging each other or ringed around each other. And I framed that with black, and they kind of fill up the whole card, just 2 large squares. And I think that looks pretty good. It's kind of the idea of 2 friends arm in arm. I did a pink variation of that same principle where they're joined arm in arm. They're linked like a chain. And then I did a smaller one, and I don't know if I like the corner pieces that I put on it. After I got these together, I glued it to a backing, and then I glued that onto the pink paper. Then I pulled out this yellow textured paper from my scrap pile, and I wanted to use some of the little squares. I used a strip of this print and trimmed it with just a little edge of blue, and I think that looks pretty good. And here was another idea that I had in mind. I'm calling it a spiral. A sentiment would go right there. I wish I could have made more of these, but this could be done with really any color, or one of the corners could be textured, which would be really nice. But I thought that was cool. And then I was getting, oh yes, I did one more experiment. I used the smaller squares. I have 3 small squares kind of interlocked, and then I tucked a solid square underneath both ends, which is a little bit smaller, which is the inside cutout of the larger squares. And it seemed too white, so I put a blue stripe on either side to kind of narrow the space so it fits better. Then I'm getting down to slim pickings. So I just made sort of a patchwork quilt. I had a little piece of this left over when I cut off from this piece, so I put it there. That's where my sentiment will go. Oh yeah, after I finished this card, I took the last leftover pieces and I cut out as many little squares as I could, just so I could put together a patchwork quilt. And I'll probably run this side of the card through an embossing folder to make it look like a quilt. I've done those type of cards before, and they fit just perfect, just to get 12 small squares on this card. And then the very final pieces, I cut them into little strips, and then I did my weave. This one has pink and blue, I was thinking, you know, I got to make a baby shower. I got to come up with a baby shower gift, and they don't know if it's going to be a boy or a girl. So this has got pink and blue mixed in it, and this one is a little softer colors. It's also pink and blue, but it has some yellow in there. And I just need to add some embellishments and flowers to finish it off. But that's what I did with the leftover scraps. So I was able to use up every bit of my 6x6 paper. So the tiniest little scraps went into the trash, and I did not add anything else to my scrap bin today. I do have more ideas because I haven't yet tried this out yet. I swapped around my die cuts and I put them close together. At first I thought that they would be too close and maybe it won't give me a good cut, but maybe if I have thin bands I could do other things. But I used up all my paper and I don't want to cut up any new paper. I guess you'll have to watch next time to see what I come up with, because you know me, I like to experiment. I like to play with paper. I don't have any larger squares, but really I don't think I need squares bigger than this. This actually worked pretty good. And that came out of Stampin' Up! Set that has ovals and circles and squares. Stitched shape framelets. I really like these die cuts. I got them from Amazon. I also got the magnetic cards from Amazon and the pouch to put them in to organize my die cuts. And these are nice big sentiments for most occasions. Birthdays, anniversaries, or special occasions. I like them because they're nice and big, but not too big. Okay, here are the cards that I created using the squares and my large die cuts. These ones are like friendship cards. So just for you, you're the best. I decided since there was so many dark colors, I would use white on that one. The black shows up on most colors. All on the sort of a diamond principle. And then the other cards, again, the diamond. But then I changed, and I want to show you the other cards. I decided to add some lace because it felt like the yellow, even though it's a print, it is a little plain, and I feel like the lace really helped that. I put a sentiment on this one, and I did emboss it so it looks like a quilt. And for my last two bonus cards, I have my braid collection, which kind of creates a cluster, and I decided this is going to be a welcoming baby card. I did one in blue dominant theme and one with pink. Those are the extra cards using up the last little bits. So these are the cards that I've created, which basically started with the squares. There's no squares here. This is just using up the leftovers. I have no leftovers, nothing added to my scrap pile today. And I'm not finished playing. I'm going to put them all together like this for my next and see what I can do with thinner square stripes, square blocks, or square, I guess it's like stripes, but I got a few ideas, so I'm gonna explore the square some more and learn what I can do with them that make them interesting and not just boring squares. This is just using up the leftovers, and that the last little bits. I made 14 cards and I used up all my paper. If you've been watching me for any length of time, you know that I like to use up my scraps and I don't want to pull out any new paper unless I can use all that paper all up. And that's what I did today. I wanted to try something new. I wanted to play with different colors. I wanted to play with different papers, but I didn't want to create any more scraps because I'm still trying to use up all my scraps. And so that's what I do. If you want to know how I did this weave, my previous video, I show you the process of doing that. I hope you enjoyed this video and it inspired you. Thanks for watching.